Cyber Insights by the Cyber Express. I'm your host, Manya, and today we have Chandu Gopalakrishnan, the Executive Editor at the Cyber Express. We'll be discussing a groundbreaking development in the cybersecurity landscape. The US has taken a significant decision to issue a cybersecurity label for smart devices. Welcome, Chandu, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Manya. It's a pleasure to be here and discuss this important topic.
Indeed, it's an important topic that impacts millions of users who rely on IoT devices. The American Federal Communications Commission, also known as the FCC, recently announced that the introduction of the US Cyber Trust Mark, a cybersecurity label for smart devices. Janlu, can you shed some light on what this label kind of entails?
Absolutely, Manya. The US Cyber Trust Mark is a voluntary program that aims to help Americans make safer choices when selecting smart devices. That's what the official announcement says. It indicates that the products, any product that is connectable, any product that comes under the IoT bracket meets the stringent security standards outlined in a report by the NIST, which is the National Institute of Standards and Technology.
That sounds pretty promising. So how will this Cyber Trust Mark initiative address the security concerns related to the IoT devices?
Well, according to the government initiative, the Cyber Trust Mark initiative is specifically designed to tackle the growing concerns about IoT device security. IoT can be anything, including a wide range of devices found in our homes, such as smart refrigerators, smart televisions, microwaves, climate control systems, and interestingly, it also covers smart fitness trackers, and that shows the broad scope of the program.
Wow, that's impressive and kind of a lot. It seems like the government has garnered support from major tech companies and electronic manufacturers for this initiative. How will the Cyber Trust label be presented on the devices?
Good question, Manya. The cyber trust label consists of two components. Firstly, there'll be a distinctive logo displayed on the product packaging to easily identify and certify devices. Secondly, each device will come with a QR code, which consumers can scan for verification. This QR code will provide essential information such as the device's data collection practices, data sharing methods, authentication mechanisms, and how security updates are handled.
Chandu, we've seen some significant names announcing their support for this initiative, including, Amazon, Best Buy, Google, LG Electronics, Logitech, and Samsung Electronics. Can you tell us more about their voluntary commitments and how this new program will benefit consumers as well?
Absolutely, Manya. They have a huge roster of electronics manufacturers in the list. These major manufacturers, retailers, and trade associations have come together to support the proposed program aimed at increasing cybersecurity for the products they sell. The primary goal of this program is to provide consumers with a reliable tool, the US Cyber Trust Mark, in the form of a distinct shield logo. The logo will be applied to products that meet the established cybersecurity criteria, giving consumers a clear indicator of the relative security of the devices they choose to bring into their homes.
That sounds like a very significant step towards enhancing consumer awareness and security. Can you sort of elaborate on the cybersecurity criteria that these products will be evaluated against?
Of course, Manya. With the specific cybersecurity criteria, I'm not aware of because they are yet to be detailed. We can expect them to be based on the security standards outlined in the NIST report, that is the National Institute of Standards and Technology, USA. This report serves as a foundational reference for many cybersecurity best practices. And we definitely can anticipate a thorough evaluation process to ensure that the certified devices meet these high security standards.
That's reassuring to know that the evaluation process will be so robust. With major industry players backing this initiative, how do you think this will impact the overall market for smart devices and consumer electronics?
Well, The support and commitments from these prominent manufacturers, retailers, and trade associations signal a collective effort to prioritize cybersecurity. By adopting the Cyber Trust Mark program, these companies are not only emphasizing the importance of secure product design, but also empowering consumers to make informed decisions, about the products they bring into their homes. This increased focus on cybersecurity is likely to bolster consumer confidence and encourage other manufacturers to follow suit, in implementing stronger security measures.
It's very evident that the Cyber Trust Mark initiative has garnered considerable support and has, the potential to make a significant impact in the market. And with this program in mind, how do you see the future of IoT security and standardization evolving?
That's an interesting question. Um, the introduction of the cyber trust mark and the commitment from major industry players are promising signs for the future of IoT security and standardization, in my opinion. As more and more devices become connected, cybersecurity will definitely continue to be a critical aspect. Standardization efforts will play a pivotal role in establishing uniform security practices and protocols across the IoT landscape. The collaboration between the industry stakeholders and the government agencies, like we see now, will be key in driving these initiatives forward. Uh, I would say that we can expect to see more programs and standards emerging, to enhance the security and reliability of IoT devices, and it ultimately will benefit consumers and ensure a lot safer IoT ecosystem.
That's certainly helpful for consumers to make informed choices. Like, as you mentioned earlier about NIST prioritizing cybersecurity requirements for consumer grade routers, can you elaborate on that aspect?
Of course, the US government aims to have NIST define cybersecurity requirements for consumer grade routers, as they pose a higher risk if compromised. These routers can be exploited for eavesdropping, password theft, and even attacking other devices and networks. The plan is to include these requirements in the labeling program by the end of 2023.
It's actually great to see the government taking steps to address various aspects of IoT security. And what about recertifications and accountability for manufacturers?
That's another important aspect, Manya. The As of now, the FCC is exploring the possibility of annual rectifications, sorry, annual recertifications for devices, but specific intervals are yet to be determined. As for accountability, manufacturers will be required to issue timely security patches to maintain their cyber trust label. That's what we assess right now. This decision ensures that devices remain secure even in the face of evolving cyber threats.
It's clear that the Cyber Trust Mark holds It's clear that the Cyber Trust Mark initiative holds tremendous potential in improving IoT device security. Chandu, what's your overall take on this development?
In my opinion, Manya, the cyber trust mark is a significant step in the right direction. It encourages companies to prioritize secure product design and more importantly, builds consumer confidence. This will likely justify the investment in robust cybersecurity measures and ultimately benefit the users because it's it's a common market sense that you buy products which are certified to be safer. It will make the IoT landscape much more safer.
Yeah, so as we, delve deeper into this topic, can you sort of elaborate on what IoT standardization entails?
Manya, IoT standardization is an evolving thing. It's a crucial process that involves the development and implementation of common guidelines, protocols, and framework for Internet of Things. Uh, with the rapid expansion of the IoT ecosystem, And when I say rapid expansion, all we need to do is take a good look around us, from the smartwatch we wear to the smart TV we watch. Numerous devices, platforms, and communication technologies emerge from various manufacturers and developers. Standardization makes sure that these diverse elements can work together seamlessly.
That makes sense. So why is standardization so important for IoT devices?
Without standardized practices, several challenges can come up. One of the key objectives of IoT standardization is interoperability. You know, IoT devices and systems often come from different manufacturers and use diverse communication protocols. Interoperability allows these devices to work together, achieving a common goal. When devices and systems lack interoperability, it becomes challenging for them to communicate and share data with one another.
Indeed, interoperability is crucial for a smooth IoT experience, but what about security?
Yeah, security is another critical aspect. As IoT devices are becoming increasingly interconnected, they handle more and more sensitive data. So robust security measures are essential. Uh, IoT standardization helps establish best practices and security protocols to safeguard these devices and networks from potential cyber threats. It also addresses challenges like vendor lock-in, rivaling standards, and proprietary devices, which can hinder the implementation of, standard security protocols.
Yeah, that's a pretty significant consideration, especially given that the growing concern over IoT device vulnerabilities. What other objectives does IoT standardization serve?
Manya, in my opinion, apart from the interoperability and security, standardization also addresses scalability. IoT systems can vary significantly in size, from small scale deployments to large scale industrial applications. Standardized architectures and solutions can adapt and expand as needed. And it ensures seamless scalability. Uh, Moreover, standardization aids in defining performance benchmarks and quality assurance measures for reliable operation in various environments.
It seems IoT standardization covers a wide range of aspects to create a cohesive ecosystem. How does it handle data management?
Yeah, data management is another crucial aspect of IoT standardization. The process of standardization addresses data formats, storage, and transmission protocols. It makes it easier to collect, process, and analyze data from diverse IoT sources. This harmonization of data practices enhances the efficiency and usefulness of the data collected by IoT devices.
It's clear that IoT standardization serves multiple purposes to streamline the IoT landscape. Are there any regulatory aspects related to IoT standardization according to you?
Definitely, Manya. Standardization also aligns IoT practices with industry regulations and government standards, ensuring that the IoT deployments stick to legal requirements and guidelines. By conforming to these regulations, IoT solutions can, build trust and confidence among users.
That's important, especially considering the sensitive nature of the data handled by by a lot of IoT devices. Chandu, could you tell me more about the various organizations involved in IoT standardization efforts?
Of course, Manya, several organizations, both governmental and industry-driven, uh, play essential roles in developing IoT standards. For example, the Internet Engineering Task Force, IETF, is responsible for many core protocols and standards that underpin the internet, which are also relevant to the IoT. The Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers, IEEE, has multiple working groups dedicated to IoT standardization. Um, Another organization is the International Organization for Standardization (ISO) and the International Electrotechnical Commission (IEC). They both focus on IoT standardization effects, but particularly in security and interoperability.
It's actually great to see such collaborative efforts on a global scale to enhance IoT security and usability. Chandu, could you share some examples of countries and their IoT related standards?
Definitely, Manya. Many countries have established standards for IoT devices to address various aspects such as security, interoperability, privacy, data protection. Um, for example, the US themselves has guidelines from NIST for IoT security and privacy controls. In the UK, the British Standards Institution, which BSI, outlines security requirements for consumer IoT devices. Germany has DIN Spec 27072, which focuses on data protection and data security for IoT devices. Um China has its Standardization Administration for China (SAC), which sets standards for IoT device and application. South Korea has it. Uh, Various nations. These are the ones that come to my mind.
Yeah, it's evident that this program aims to actually provide Americans with greater assurances about the cybersecurity of the products they use on a daily basis. Can you explain how this increased assurance will benefit consumers and businesses as well?
Absolutely, Manya. The US Cyber Trust Mark initiative holds significant benefits for both consumers and businesses, I would say. For consumers, the presence of the Cyber Trust Mark on smart devices and products will serve as a reliable indicator for for the cybersecurity levels of these products. This assurance, will empower consumers to make informed decisions when selecting IoT devices for their homes. By choosing products with the Cyber Trust Mark, consumers can have greater peace of mind knowing that these devices meet the high security standards and are less vulnerable to cyber attacks.
That's certainly reassuring for consumers. Now, how will this labeling program benefit businesses operating in the IoT market?
For businesses, the Cyber Trust Mark program offers an opportunity to differentiate their products in the marketplace. It's voluntary, and by voluntarily committing to meet the cybersecurity criteria and displaying the mark on their products, businesses can showcase their dedication to security and build trust with their customers. It's an increasingly competitive IoT market, and having the cyber trust mark can set companies apart as providers of trustworthy and secure products, and it enhances their reputation and potentially attract more customers.
Yeah, it's interesting to see how the cyber trust mark benefits both consumers and businesses, fostering a safer and more trustworthy IoT ecosystem. Do you think this labeling program will lead to a greater standardization across the IoT industry as a whole?
That's a great question, Manya. The Cyber Trust Mark initiative, yes, it has the potential to drive greater standardization in the IoT industry. As more companies voluntarily commit to meet the cybersecurity criteria and display the Cyber Trust Mark, it'll definitely create a stronger impetus for other manufacturers to follow suit. This trend towards meeting uniform security standards could contribute to a more cohesive IoT landscape, where cybersecurity best practices become the norm. Standardization efforts like this can also influence the development of industry-wide cybersecurity guidelines. It further enhances security across the board.
Yeah, it's exciting to consider the long-term impact of this initiative on IoT security standardization. With the US Cyber Trust Mark on the horizon, what should consumers and businesses be mindful of in the meantime?
Well, the cyber trust mark is a positive step towards enhancing IoT security. However, it's essential for consumers and businesses to remain very vigilant about their cybersecurity practices. Consumers should continue to educate themselves about IoT security risks and follow best practices. It's as simple as regularly updating their devices firmware and using strong passwords. For businesses, implementing cybersecurity measures and staying up to date with the latest cybersecurity developments is very crucial. Moreover, they should also ensure that their products meet the necessary criteria to be eligible for the cyber trust mark. And it allows them to reap the benefits of this initiative.
Yeah, absolutely. Staying proactive in cybersecurity is essential for all stakeholders. And as we kind of wrap up, Jenlu, what do you envision for the future of IoT security and the role of initiatives like the Cyber Trust Mark?
Looking ahead, Manya, I believe initiatives like the Cyber Trust Mark will play a pivotal role in shaping the future of IoT security. As the IoT ecosystem continues to expand, cybersecurity will remain a top priority for businesses and governments alike. Um, the Cyber Trust Mark and similar labeling programs can encourage companies to adopt best practices and prioritize security in their product. Like we discussed, it is voluntary. So if a competitor manufacturer adheres to the standards and gains more customers, definitely others will follow suit. Standardization efforts will continue to evolve, driving greater uniformity in cybersecurity practices. It will raise the overall security posture of IoT devices. And according to my observation, ultimately, these initiatives will lead to a safer and more trustworthy IoT landscape for everyone.
Yeah, for sure. And, I just wanted to thank you, Chandu, for sharing your valuable insights on the benefits of the Cyber Trust Mark initiative and its potential impact on the future of IoT security. We appreciate your expertise and thoughtful perspective on the matter. And, that concludes today's episode of Cyber Insights by the Cyber Express. We hope you found this discussion informative and enlightening. Join us next time for a more in-depth discussion on cybersecurity and technology. Until then, stay safe, secure in the digital world.